start group two. We have 7 discussants, but the 2 discussants have 2 chances of presentation because they have overview part and then case study. So I requested them to present 2 times. One is for overview part, the other part is case study. So first part is overview, which includes Upendo, Okiki, Tan. Would you please start overview part? Upendo?
Okay. Thank you, Professor Shini, for this opportunity. My name is Upendo Solomoni. I'm coming from Tanzania. We are going to present about your topic, which said that the impacts of aging farmers on sustainable agricultural activity. First, the meaning of aging population. Population aging refers to changes in the age composition of population such that there is an increase in the proportion of older people in the population structure. When the number of older people become greater than the other population structure, then we achieve that aging population. So that aging population has an impact on our national, on both national developing nation and the developing nation. For example, there are some studies which have been conducted in various parts of the world which show that how this aging population have negative impact on agricultural productivity. For example, in this 21st century, dominant demographic phenomena which is due to declining fertility, increasing longevity, and the progression of large cohort to old age are causing elder share to lie throughout the world. And we can see this aging population is due to low fertility rate and high life expectancy, which is occurring in our society. That are the main cause of aging population. In all regions of the world are experiencing population aging, although the rates of increase differ across regions. For example, according to the study which was done by KNU-KOICA, it showed that, example, in Europe is the oldest region, which 21% of its population is aged 60 years and over. In 2060, the rate is expected to rise up to 34 in 2050. The youngest region in Africa, which is having only 5% of the population over the age of 60, and in 2016, is expected to rise by 10% in 2050. Also, in other parts of Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean region is expected to increase from 9% to 24% between 2060 and 2050 due to both reduction in fertility rate and increase in life expectancy. That is according to the various studies which have been done, so that it shows how this situation is going to be a problem, because in the future it's going to rise more than recent. As I have already said, there will be effect of this aging population, because when the number of older people increase than the other age structure, more older people will be in the society, and the other age structure will not be there. So as you can see, when somebody becomes older, the physical strength will be reduced. So even to engage into agricultural activities, he will not be more strength than the young population. So the effect will be that the young population, when it will not be there, the productivity will automatically decrease, especially in our agricultural activity. Because of this low fertility rate and high life expectancy, so there will be significant wide fall in number of workers. In doing so, it also effectively changing the micro and the macro landscape of the world. So there will be significant fall in number of workers because there will be more older people than the young people who have more strengths who can engage in production activity. Also, there are some studies which have been done in other countries like Thailand. It shows that is facing aging workforce, which has negative influence on agricultural activities. So the results have already shown that after this study have been done in Thailand, it shows that aging workforce will have negative impact on agricultural production because the old people will not become more strong to engage in those activities. Also, the other studies have shown that the effect of aging workforce has negative impact on labor productivity. The study found that workforce aging reduces growth in labor productivity, mainly through its negative effect on total factor productivity growth. And the projected workforce aging could reduce total factor productivity growth by an average of 0.2 percentage points every year over the next 2 decades. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pando. Next, Okiki, would please start the first part, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Okiki from Nigeria. Actually, my colleague has actually dwelled on the aging population, the definition of aging population, the effect of it. Briefly, I'll just talk about definition of agricultural sustainability, which is part of the second part of our topic. Agricultural sustainability suggests a focus on both genotype improvement through the full range of modern biological approaches and improve understanding of the benefits of ecological and agronomic management, manipulation, and redesign, which is according to Josp in 2007. So I'll move to the world trend of aging population. If you look at our slide that we have presented, the second slide, we gave you a summary of what is actually trending in the world right now about aging population. So, according to Statista in 2023, they say aging is a demographic trend that has important consequence for this and more generally for the economic growth of a nation. As you can see on our slide, in 2022, Asia continent is in the forefront of the aging population. As you can see, Japan is leading, followed by Italy, Finland, Puerto Rico, Portugal, and Greece. And also, you can see from the forecast, which is done by Statista in 2023, that by 2050, Hong Kong will be leading, followed by South Korea. So you can see the effect of aging population as it affects the economy. And according to Statista, they predict that in 2050 there will be the aging population will have reached 1.6 billion by 2050. That is the prediction of the Statista. So we can now see the cause and how the aging population is. So let us talk about the causes of aging population. What are the major causes of this aging population we are talking about? According to WHO, it says the aging of the world's population is the result of the continued decline in fertility rates and increased life expectancy. This demographic change has resulted in increasing number of proportion of people who are over 60 years. And according to the WHO, there is 2 cause reasons why the aging populations have actually increased, which is, number one is declining fertility rates. You will notice from the picture I just showed, you will see there is a decline in fertility rate in most countries in the Asia, which is Japan and South Korea and other European countries like Italy. Also, according to WHO, they said an increase in life expectancy, which refers to the average number of years that a person be expected to live, has also declined. So, in a nutshell, this aging population has really caused a drastic impact on the economy of the nation. But I also want to dwell on the impact of this aging population on agricultural sustainability, which is the actual topic we are discussing this morning. According to Li Chen in 2017, he says due to the limitation of their own physical energy, aging farmers tend to abandon their land, reduce land inputs to agricultural production, and reduce land use rate, resulting in insufficient agricultural labor and land input. This is actually talking about the fact that the strength for aging population to go into farming is limited because of their age. They are limited in strength, so they will not be able to go to their normal farming activities. Also, according to Liu Jie, he says that agricultural labor force has no significant negative impact on agricultural production, which is in the short run. But in the long run, there will be a negative impact, which we can see that even though an aged farmer can still try in the first year, second year, you will see by the third year, the production, there will be decline in production. The third impact talks about the aging farmer's decision when it comes to making decision as regards to his farming production. You will see that because of his strength and because of the aging, he will not be able to make decisive decisions that will really boost his yield. So, according to Wang S, he said elderly farmers will want to increase their planting production, but because of the strength to have to make a decisive decision, it will really affect the production negatively. And lastly, the aging population reduce the number of agricultural workforce. So this will actually affect the need to hire to get a higher labor, which will also increase the production of the cost of production, and at the end of the day, which has an adverse effect on the cost of food product at the end of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tan, please continue.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Tan. I'm from Vietnam. And today with my group, I'm going to present about the aging population and agriculture sustainability. The aging population and agriculture are closely linked because of the population age. There is a significant impact on agriculture industry. And aging people age, they are often tend to reduce the productivities of the agriculture practices. So there are several measurements that I list here to tackle the aging population and agriculture sustainability. So the first one is encourage young generation to take up farming and provide them with necessary support and resource to do so. In order to encourage young farmers in this point, we are going to provide them with offer the training education program encourage young farmers to build up their capacity, knowledge, and skills on agriculture, such as crop management, animal husbandry, marketing, and business management. And another ways to support young generation is a low-cost interest rate to get started with the industry. This particularly important for young people because they have made difficult access to the capital to purchase land or equipment and resource to start with agriculture. Another measurement is to implement policy that promote sustainable agriculture practices and provide incentive for farmers to adopt them. Government and other organizations can create policy programs to encourage young farmers and people to adopt sustainable practices such as soil conservation, water conservation, and reduce chemical use, and crop rotation. This policy can include incentives such as financial assistance, tax credit, and technical support. For example, some countries implement the program providing funds for farmers who adopt sustainable agriculture practices. This program can help offset the costs associated with implementing new practices. Other policy is to establish regulation, promote sustainable agriculture practices. The regulation would require farmers certain practices or meet the environmental standards in order to receive government subsidies and other form of support. The third measure is to encourage technologies because technology can play a significant role for addressing this issue. Advanced technology can help farmers to increase their productivities, reduce waste, and minimize environmental impact. For example, precision farmer technology such as GPS mapping, soil sensor can help farmers optimize their use of the resource such as water, fertilizer, pesticides. This can help farmers to have higher yield, lower cost, and reduce chemical impact. Finally, biotechnology and genetic engineering can also play increasing the role in agriculture. This technology can help to develop crop resistant to pests or disease, require less water and fertilizer. So overall, technology can play a powerful tool to addressing the impact of aging population on agricultural sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you. In next part, we'll introduce case studies. 5 countries: Mozambique, Ghana, Indonesia, Nigeria, Vietnam. So, Nuzia, would you please start?
Thank you, Professor. Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to talk about aging population and agricultural sustainability in case of Mozambique. So Mozambique, like most of the developing country, is characterized by a youthful population. But despite its predominantly young population, the aging population is also a growing concern in Mozambique. And the agriculture sector is significantly affected by aging population. As most of the farmers in Mozambique are considered the elderly people, because young people in Mozambique, like in most of country, they tend to go to the urban areas to look for better opportunities. They don't see agriculture as a source of income or source of livelihood. So the impacts of aging on farming in Mozambique, although elder people are considered bringing a valuable experience to agriculture sector, the challenges associated with aging population can significantly impact farming, such as the labor shortage, because the workforce has been decreasing. The young people, they don't stay in rural areas, so the workforce is decreasing. Also, the slow adoption of new technology. Older farmers may be resistant to adopt and integrate new agriculture technologies, hindering their ability to improve productivity. Also difficult in adapting the traditional experiences to new technologies. Integrating traditional farming knowledge with modern agriculture practice can be challenging for elderly farmers, limiting their potential to benefit from new technology. Also, limited access to financing. Elderly farmers may face difficulty accessing financial resources for agriculture investments, impacting their ability to enhance productivity. So all those impacts lead to a decrease on the productivity. And also in Mozambique, various initiatives have been undertaken to promote agriculture sustainability and address the challenges of population aging. This include the integration of agriculture into the school curriculum. So young people can learn in the early age now about practical skills and they can have a potential career opportunities through agriculture. And also support and training for elderly people has been promoted. Also youthful engagement in agriculture, resource allocation and technical assistance, promotion of entrepreneurship among young farmers. Although these initiatives, additional policies and strategies are needed to effectively address the challenges posed by an aging population and ensure sustainable development in agriculture sector. So some of the recommendations that I brought here to promote agriculture sustainable and address the challenges of the aging populations are make policies and strategies to attract young people to agriculture with access to training and financial resources, valorization of agriculture as an attractive career for young people, emphasizing innovation and entrepreneurship, also encouraging the intergenerational collaboration between younger and older farmers for knowledge transfer. Also promotion of rural tourism to boost economic development in rural areas, and strengthening agricultural extension services, providing technical assistance and guidance on sustainable practice, training the support for older farmers to adapt to new agriculture technology and government. So government must equip the extension officer with with resources so that they can be able to train and support farmers in their activities, and also investment in education and literacy programs for adults and elderly in rural farm. This education can be a non-formal education, just to make farmers more able to adopt new technologies. And also promotion of technology that can reduce physical exertion for older farmer, mechanization specifically. So all those recommendations, when it's addressed, it may provide a good support for farmers, both for elders and younger, and it can improve the productivity of agriculture sector in Mozambique. Thank you.
Thank you. Next case study of Ghana. Valentina, would you please?
교수님 감사합니다. 여러분 안녕하세요. 교수님 안녕하십니까? 저는 Valentina Okan입니다. 저는 Ghana 사람입니다. Today, like my colleagues have already said, we'll be presenting on the topic aging population and agricultural sustainability. I'll look at a typical case study from my country, Ghana. In this case study, I'll look at two very important examples. I'll use myself first as a case study, and then the situation on the ground with the youth back in Ghana. So Ghana has a population of 32.3 million with a per annum growth rate of 2.19% and a mean population density of 77 persons per square kilometers. The population distribution is varied across the 16 administrative regions and ecozones of the country, with 68% and 32% living in rural and urban areas, respectively. About 52% of the labor force is engaged in agriculture, 29% in services, and 19% in industry. Approximately 39% of the farm labor force is women. Agriculture contributes to 59% of Ghana's GDP and accounts for over 40% of export earnings, while at the same time providing 90% of the food needs of the country. In a study in 2010, it showed that there are consistently more elderly persons in regions in Ghana that are more suitable for agricultural production. In Ghana, most of our agricultural productions are around the middle belt, which is where I work, fortunately. So the western, eastern, Ashanti, Brongahafo regions of Ghana are where the dense of agricultural production take place. So this suggests that these regions attract more migrant farmers than any other region. It further goes to support the concept of return migration, that people who live in towns and cities return to their villages as they grow old to, among other things, find sustenance in agricultural production. So we know that urbanization usually involves the youth moving from rural to more urban areas in search of, as some studies have said, the white-collar jobs. But we also have what we call the return migration, where you have people who are mostly in the category of retirees moving back to the rural areas to start a form of agricultural production, mostly. Now, Zhang et al. Found, surprisingly, that household proportion of males among agricultural laborers did not significantly influence the occurrence of land abandonment at a parcel level, probably due to male agricultural laborers being overwhelmingly old. Ghana, according to the United Nations Organization and Commonwealth Secretariat, defines youth as persons within the age bracket of 15 and 35. And according to the 2010 Ghana Housing and Population Census, this constitutes about 35% of Ghana's population. The first case study. In 2017, somewhere around Greater Accra region, the capital of Ghana, I was privileged to start a piggery farm. Even though it was an area around one of the biggest markets in Ghana, we call it Agbogbuloshi. I had a small parcel of land and then started the piggery with about 5 females and then just a male. So 5 sows and then 1 boa. Now, my farm was displaced somewhere later in the year because government wanted to expand the market. How does this affect our agricultural production? Now, in a study by Cross on perceptions of youth involvement in Malaysia's urban agricultural program, the authors found that factors such as optimism about agriculture, career motives, support from family and friends, and perceived barriers significantly and positively influence youth participation in the program. Now, Banksin et al. Also found that young people in Ghana perceived agriculture to be profitable, but they are leaving the agricultural sector due to limited access to essential farm resources such as land and capital, which was my case. My farm was displaced because I had no ownership of the land and I didn't have enough capital to procure. UNFAP says that the youth with dynamism and flexibility has the potential as an agent of positive change, and this should be ensured by development programs. In most adverse and risky situations, young people have extraordinary resilience and ability to cope. Unfortunately, this category of people is virtually left out in policies and program considerations, even though this is a critical stage for this group of people, since this is the period of transition into adulthood. But thankfully, after concerted efforts, somewhere in 2019, the Ghanaian government launched the program Rearing for Food and Jobs. The Rearing for Food and Jobs has about 8 components. Of the 8 components, there's a component that targets youth in poultry project. What this project sought to achieve or seeks to achieve is to reduce the importation of meat, which Ghana imports about 240,000 metric tons of chicken, beef, and others, costing the country over 375 million USD annually. What happened is that, in collaboration with private sectors, the farmers, that is the youth, within the bracket of 18 to 35 years, are supported with day-old chicks and other poultry inputs for broiler production. As at 2020, about 2,000 of the youth farmers had been engaged, and they had produced about 5 million birds for slaughter. Prior to coming to Korea, these were some of the projects that Ghanaian government intervened in order to increase the youth participation and to address the aging problem in Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, Indonesian case. Iqbal, please.
Yes. Thank you very much, Professor Shin, and my friends. 여러분 안녕하세요. 교수님 안녕하십니까? 저는 이qbal 입니다. 저는 인도네시아 사람입니다. In this case, I want to talk about aging population and agricultural sustainability. When we are talking about agricultural sustainability, we not can separate with integrated farming systems. We study here in Korea. We see Korea is not an agriculture country, but they can make the new way from system and technology. In Indonesia case, I want to tell the Indonesia story first. Indonesia is a country located in Southeast Asia with a population of over 280 million people, making it fourth most populous country in the world. Indonesia's population is rapidly aging, with the proportion of the population aged 65 years and over expected to increase from 5% in 2020 to 15% in 2050. The aging population in Indonesia presents a significant challenge to country's agricultural sustainability. As the population ages, there will be a reduction in the workforce available for agriculture, as older individuals are less likely to participate in farming activity. So we can see nowadays the young generation is not motivated to join participating farming. For example, like we can see that farming is not sexy sector anymore, Professor Shin. And we can see that many investors not invest to agriculture sector. Why we can say that? Furthermore, the aging population in Indonesia may lead to an increase in demand for healthcare and social service. To address this challenge, this needs to be a concerted effort to promote agricultural sustainability in Indonesia. This effort called in for promoting the use of sustainable agriculture practice such as organic farming and agroforestry. To overcome these issues, we can integrate it every sector, not only focus on agriculture, so we can link between agriculture to tourism or something else. So that's make agriculture more sexier. So another approach to addressing this challenge facing the agriculture sector in Indonesia is to encourage young people to pursue careers in agriculture. The issues, the regeneration of the agriculture sector in Indonesia has been a significant challenge in recent years. One is about land scarcity, 2 is lack of investment, 3 is limited access to technology and modern farming methods, 4 is not equally infrastructure. We nowadays build infrastructure, but still on the process. We are going to equally in every world country, because nowadays we are going to move, in case of Indonesia, move the capital city to another island. Indonesia is the structure of the geographical is not like Korea, and also when comparing with Korea is only one ethnic, is more easier to manage people. We have more than 800 ethnic and 800 language, so it's very difficult to manage people, because when we talk about agriculture is from the word agri and culture. Cultures mean the cultures. Every ethnic has own culture, so it's very difficult to manage the people. In case of Indonesia, continue to issue comeback is climate change. Yeah, as mentioned before, the previous team talking about the climate change. Climate change has had a significant impact on agriculture in Indonesia also, with changing weather patterns leading to more frequent and severe droughts and flood. To address these issues, there need to be a concerned effort to invest to the agriculture sector in Indonesia. This investment should focus on providing farmers with access to modern farming methods, technology, and infrastructures. Additionally, policies should be put in place to protect agricultural land from conversion to non-agricultural use. So the policy has to protect the land conversion from agriculture land to non-agriculture land use. And to encourage sustainable farming practice by taking these steps, Indonesia can regenerate its agricultural sector and ensure food security for its growing population. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okiki, Nigel case, please.
One.
Thank you, Professor. I will briefly talk about the Nigerian case. As we all know that Nigeria is a special country in Africa. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa, which makes it the sixth populous country in the world. Nigeria currently has 218.5 million people and still counting. The fertility rate in Nigeria is around 4.62 children born per woman, and the death rate is at 8.7 deaths per 1,000 population. This is according to Wikipedia. talking about Nigeria as a case study, Nigeria is also diverse, as my colleague in Indonesia has said. Nigeria currently have more than 500 ethnic groups, and we also have several languages. But the fact still remains that to curb this issue of aging, there's need for us to introduce our youth into farming. And as you can see in all our slides, you can see how our aged people are actually working to to increase their production in during their farming cultivations. But I will actually dwell on the population of our aged people in Nigeria. According to Shinobola in 2008, he said the population of the aged people in Nigeria is around 30 million, and most of them are involved in agricultural production. So, as you can see, if we limit our agricultural production to the aged people, are we sure that our agriculture will be sustainable? So, and also, from my own experience, because actually, I've been privileged to work for 12 years in the agricultural sectors, and I've gone wide across the country. I'll see that actually, like my colleague Iqbal said, agriculture is not attractive to the youth in Nigeria. And when it comes to infrastructure, in the rural area, the infrastructures are not available. When it comes to road, the light, the network, and you know how youths are stuck to their phones. They want to have network, they want to get TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, and other things. And if these facilities are not there in the farm, how do you think they will want to be at the farm to do this agricultural production? In conclusion, in 2010, I went for my youth service, and this service is actually done by fresh graduates. So in Nigeria, if you just finish as a graduate, you are mandatory to go for your youth service. It's a year program. And when we got to the camp, me and some colleagues, we had the plan that we want to make. We had a vision to improve the agricultural production in Nigeria. So we made a proposal for the Minister of Agriculture. But unfortunately, even though our proposal was attractive, when we submitted it to the PAMSEC, he actually stepped it down. He said the country doesn't have enough money. And what is the proposal? We actually told them that instead of we working at our primary place of assignment, which doesn't even have 80% of what we have learned in the school, let us give us land. Let us go to the farm, to the rural areas to improve the agricultural production, so that we can plant, we can do cultivation of the crops and rearing of animals. But actually, they said it's not profitable, which gives a sign that the policy in the country is not even giving the youth a chance to go into agriculture. And as a way of conclusion, in my place of work, we had a program that we are we call it Catch Them Young. What we are actually doing is that we will try to introduce the youth, the younger ones, to agriculture. And what do? We try to do seed demonstration programs in all the secondary school and all the high school, so that we can introduce farmers, youth into agriculture, so that by the time they grow up, they will actually take profession in agriculture, and which we actually try to make a replacement for the aging population that we have in agriculture. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you. Please, Tan, continue. Vietnam case, please.
Hello, for the case in Vietnam about aging population, agriculture, sustainability, I have some I have listed some examples, and I want to share with all of you. So Vietnam, like any other country, we're also facing the problem of aging population. And this aging population gives Vietnam face some challenges due to the problem of aging population. First of all is decrease the labor force. There's a less number of people who have the skills and knowledge in the labor market for the companies and also for the agriculture sectors. The second one is increase the healthcare demand. Higher elderly people in the societies require higher demand for labor for the healthcare services and infrastructure relevance. The first one is social and welfare. The aging population can lead to change in family dynamic and social structures. In agriculture's sustainability, Vietnam also faces some key challenges, such as environmental impact. Unsustainable agriculture farming practices lead to some problems, such as the use of chemicals, increased deforestation, water pollution, and decline the biodiversities. This practice also lead to the soil erosion, deforestation, and reduce agriculture productivities in the long run. Climate change. Vietnam is also facing the impact of climate change with a frequent of strong events such as drought and storms and typhoon every year. Further interconnection between aging population and agriculture sustainability. The first one is labor shortage, decline in the labor force. The second one is knowledge and technology transfers. With this to encourage young people and also to transfer the technologies for the young people to implement the technologies to increase the productivities. This key is a very crucial, very important to increase the productivities. The third one is to improve the agriculture with the diversification, with the include promoting high value crop yield, agri-processing, and also provide the skills and capacity for young people. In general, Vietnam aging population and agriculture sustainability have some challenges. Addressing this issue need multiple approach with social involvement and policy from the government. Investing in the technology is the key to improve and also transfer the technology for the young people to tackle the problem of aging population and agriculture sustainability is the key to improve the agriculture practices and productivity. Thank you.
Thank you. Leslie, Gambo, we will summarize and conclude based on your paper. Don't be impressed.
No. Thank you, Professor, for this opportunity. My name is Gamba Abdullahi from Nigeria. And I believe my colleagues have done justice to the topic, so I'm going to give us just a brief summary and a conclusion. So, agriculture remains vital in many African countries to promote food security, alleviate poverty, and the sector generates approximately 70% of rural employment, account for over 85% of total rural income stream, and contribute to about 25% of Nigeria GDP. Sorry for starting with a case study of my country. So in humans, aging represents the accumulation of changes in human being over time and can encompass physical, psychological, and social changes. So several studies have shown that in most parts of the world, rural population, particularly in low and middle income countries, are aging. And there has been a universal trend of an increase in the proportion of older people and a decrease in younger people residing in rural areas. And there are several factors that are responsible for this, which I'm going to mention part of those factors as I continue. The young people were migrating from rural to urban areas searching for a white-collar jobs, whereas the reverse has been the case of urban-rural migration, where most people that are migrating from the urban to rural areas are the old people, mostly the retirees, are seen being the one migrating from the urban to rural areas to complete their remaining life there. So large number of these old people living in rural areas for agricultural production is of advantage to the nation, as records have proved that agriculture continues to be the most important source of their livelihood for the vast majority of economically active older people, and particularly so for old women. However, in order to attain higher productivity and food security in the nation, the youth has to actively participate in agricultural sector, as it is believed that they are more agile and easy to adopt any technological agricultural innovation that result in higher productivity. So, of course, having a higher number of older people in agriculture is an advantage to the nation, but what we are saying, it became a problem when the number of or proportion of the youth are low, because of this belief that youth are more agile and easy to adopt any agricultural innovation, which we directly translate to the higher productivity. And there's some scholars have actually argued that the major cause of youth rural-urban migration is not just about agricultural challenges. There are other indicators or factors like the social amenities, such as quality education, health center, good road, tourism, and other factors, and also the issue of high mortality rate of the youth compared to the older people has also been contributing factors. And therefore, I would like to recommend by saying there should be a concerted government policy aimed at closing the lacuna between wage and other socio-economic differentials between the rural and urban areas. Government support in the development and funding of small and medium-scale rural enterprises agricultural sector. Also, the policymakers should therefore carry out an intense effort to transform the rural areas holistically by making available sufficient socio-economic and infrastructural amenities such as quality education, facilities, health services, electricity, good access road, pipe-borne water, and other basic social economic service for rural dwellers. Kapsamida, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lambo. Okay, let's finalize the second group talk, aging population and agricultural sustainability. Okay, thank you all. Thank you.